Episode 12 of Better Call Saul Season 6 is arriving next week, and after the last episode, I think we're about to see the devastating consequences come fully into view. The promo trailer was released the other day, and while like the previous episodes it doesn't give anything away, it does suggest that Gene might be in big trouble after his latest move. And the revealed title for episode 12 also means that we might be seeing the return of a character that's been out of sight since episode 9. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my theories and predictions for Better Call Saul Season 6 episode 12, alongside discussing my general thoughts towards what we might see. The promo trailer will be linked in the description if you want to check it out yourself. But before I get into it, if you want to see more videos on the final episodes of Better Call Saul, then don't forget to support this upload by giving it a like rating, subscribing to the channel, and turning on your notifications. Also, feel free to check me out on Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and Instagram at Cortex Videos, which is all linked in the description below. But without further ado, let's dive into my predictions for Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 12. So Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 12, which is apparently titled Waterworks, is a title that, like many episodes in the show, will likely carry a double meaning over just making the viewer sad. For one, it does hint towards Kim Wexler's return during the penultimate episode, and I think it's going to answer what she was up to during the Breaking Bad timeline, and more importantly, what she feels towards everything we are currently seeing with Gene. Obviously, we learnt in episode 9 that Kim had a lot of guilt surrounding her role in Howard's death, and during the final moments of fun and games, she decided to end her law license, leave Jimmy, and go away, in turn being the final nail in Jimmy's transformation into Saul Goodman. She has not been seen in the previous 2 episodes, other than being teased with that phone call we got in the last episode. During a phone call with Francesca, Gene learns that Kim called her to check on both of them after the events with Heisenberg, and this of course made Gene call back to check on her, and we learned that she is now living in Florida and working at a company called Palm Coast Sprinklers. Leaks of that phone call have confirmed that Gene was speaking with Kim, and it's quite the heated conversation that was muted on purpose. So with the title Waterworks, we've likely got a reference to the company Kim works for, and if we add on the synopsis of the episode, which reads, "The stakes are raised when a discovery is made," it means that things are going to be getting worrying for Gene, alongside that eventual reintroduction of Kim. Ray Seahorn will be on this week's edition of Talking Saul, and the leaked poster for the episode could relate to their marriage, or maybe even a tug of war between the both of them. Basically, multiple meanings and theories can come out of the released material, which is great because it's likely that many of our theories will turn out to be wrong due to misinterpretation. Another thing that is surely teasing multiple outcomes is the promo trailer that they released for episode 12, and it seemingly shows a cop car arriving outside of either the cancer patient's home or Marion and Jeff's house. I would think that this is the cancer patient's house after what we saw in the last episode, but I'm going to be getting into why I think that's the case later on in this video. Coming back to the title though, something to note about Waterworks is that while this is likely foreshadowing the audience feeling sad about all the events that take place, it could also be a reference to Waterworks on a Monopoly game board. This game space is right before the go to jail section on that board, so maybe the theories about him going to jail might be in the eventful finale. You know that I personally thought that Kim would follow this outcome earlier on in the season, but the more I think about the way the show is lining up, it seems to be a likely candidate with Gene. Think about it this way: we started the first episode with Jimmy in a courtroom as a lawyer, and maybe ending the show in a courtroom with Gene in an orange jumpsuit is a direction they could take to show us where this journey of a true criminal leads. Still, I know that is a very popular theory right now, and it might be too obvious just saying it in that way. If they did go in that direction though, then it would likely be different to how we expect. Like maybe Kim is involved with this process, and the poster for the episode is suggesting that kind of outcome with all of its marriage and tug-of-war imagery going on too. Still, with all of this released material, it's open to many different interpretations. Speaking of Kim Wexler though, and her importance ahead, it's time to talk about everything surrounding her likely return in this episode. So as I was saying before, the Waterworks title could also reflect the sprinkler company Kim is currently working for that we learnt about in the last episode. I think this episode might go back a bit to explore exactly what she has been doing since she left Jimmy, and how she currently feels towards him in the time since. And once at the company, I think we'll get that phone call replayed, hearing exactly what was spoken. The reason I think this will go back a bit is because a few months ago, there was leaked footage of Kim stood outside of Saul's office smoking during the events of Breaking Bad, and with Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul stating that we are still to see a scene with each of them before the show ends. It's likely that we're going to see those last few flashbacks in this penultimate episode. And with one of them featuring Kim at Saul's office, it would be a way of telling us what happened during those events, how she feels now, and why that led to her being at this sprinkler company today. When it comes to that phone call I was talking about before, German fans have also been able to find out what a part of that call involved. Apparently, in the German subtitles of the episode, Jimmy yelled at Kim and said, "You have no idea what I did or didn't do. Why don't you stand up? You don't have to consider me. I can only be hanged once." Okay, listen, Kim, why are we even talking about this? We're both too smart. And in reference to that phone call, the director of the episode, Thomas Schnoes, said in a new interview, he's doing this because something about that phone call brought up a lot of pain and hurt. And as we know from the past, and all that went down with Howard, and Kim hiding the truth about Lalo, and the reasons why she did it, and the breakup that happened, it all caused a lot of pain that pushed him into going full Saul Goodman. We know that it was also the final straw that led to him descending down a dark path once again. So it's going to be the big catalyst for what's to come, and we'll likely hear that full conversation sometime in this next installment. So coming to my predictions, what do I think we'll see, and what can we gather about all of these small details put together? Well, I think this episode could start with a cold open that involves hearing that phone call clearly at the end of it. We might see a flashback or a montage of Kim during the Breaking Bad events and learn of something that led to this meltdown on the phone. My guess would be that maybe Kim tried to get Jimmy to change to help him consider everything that happened and what that led to in Breaking Bad, and it results in him not changing. He continued that descent and continued down the dark path he always returns to, and I think she truly did leave and end their marriage during the events of Breaking Bad. I think that's what might have caused this phone call, and with her ringing Francesca and asking if he's okay, I think it was her also falling back into the cycle of her own ways, coming back to Jimmy and trying to help him, even after a potential divorce. The reason I think she divorced him is because of that teaser poster that leaked reflecting a rope tied in a knot, which for one could symbolize a marriage, and two could also symbolize a tug of war. And I think that could reflect what's happening between them towards the end of this show. Kim struggled to leave Jimmy, and Jimmy struggles to get away from his Saul Goodman ways. Essentially, it's become a toxic tug of war after everything we've seen unfold with Lalo and Howard before. So things will never be the same. After this, I think we'll get the continuation of last week's episode, where I think Marion is going to be the one to lift up some dirt on Jean, and I believe this because the writers chose to put a focus on her reaction to Jimmy's recent discussions with Jeff, and I think she's starting to feel quite worried. Maybe she'll learn of Saul Goodman on that new laptop that Jeff brought her, and eventually the cops will come down to investigate the crimes that we've seen Jean commit. The same cops that we see in that promo trailer. And when it comes to the Walter White and Jesse Pinkman flashbacks we're yet to see, I think we're either going to get the scenes that reinforce what was shown to us last week, something that symbolises the no turning back outlook that the last few episodes have focused on, or maybe something else that we are yet to learn. Scenes that add to the character of Jean, like with the ones we got in episode 11. And then with the ending, I think this is going to be the big turning point. The scam he pulled really does seem like it was the beginning of something horrible for Jean, and I think after an episode of being on the run, we could see something that points at him getting arrested and identified as Saul. He might not be arrested in this episode, but I predict it will lead to that in the next one. I think it will also set up a return for Kim when it comes to this particular plot event, and my theory is that the last episode will focus on that last straw between them. Jimmy being taken to court and Kim owning up and admitting to everything they've done in a testimony. I think Jimmy will plan to lie using Kim as a witness to get out of this, and hopes that Kim will follow it to help them both. But there comes a point where you just can't lie anymore. Unlike Jimmy, she's changed, and I think the last few episodes will show that difference and produce the realistic ending that we know is inevitable. He's got to meet those consequences at some point and can't keep being on the run, so that would be my current prediction on where this is going. I'm probably completely wrong, and to be honest, I really love that they've made these last few episodes so unpredictable, showing the extent of great writing. And the marketing material has also done a fantastic job of just teasing, yet keeping everything under wraps. With 2 episodes of Better Call Saul to go, hopefully the show can provide some proper closure for Jimmy and Kim, and given the title of the episode and everything we've seen, I don't think it will be the dreamlike happy ending that we would want to see unfold. But they were my thoughts and predictions for Better Call Saul Season 6, Episode 12. This is most likely going to be Vince Gilligan's last directed episode in the Breaking Bad universe, and with everything Episode 11 set in motion, I can see this being a huge one for the show as a whole. As I said, I think we will see the return of Kim Wexler and the role she will play in these last 2 episodes, the consequences of Jean breaking into the Cancer Man's house, and the final Breaking Bad timeline scenes to flesh out the central messages that the finale will answer. As of far, it's very unpredictable, but I have faith in these writers and director Vince Gilligan to really deliver with the penultimate episode of the show. But what are your predictions and theories surrounding what happens in the next episode, and do you think we'll see the return of Kim Wexler leading into the final installment? Let me know down below in the comment section. For more videos on the final episodes of Better Call Saul Season 6, then subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Also, if you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like rating and follow me on social media via the links in the description. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been Cortex, and as always, make some noise.